the new Parkway Theater, where good food, diverse entertainment, and community create a place for everyone. For showtimes and special events, check out www.thenewparkway.com.
You are listening to High School 515, where sports and comedy regain some culture.
So we gotta tell a story about fishing for schlutes.
What are schlutes? Are schlutes? Oh, wait. Can I take a guess before you explain? Schlutes is what I would say what Brandon was looking for back in the day when he played the game on Skip. I'm not gonna say what I'm looking for. It's what Brandon was looking for. There's a big difference in the two.
I mean, yeah.
Schlutes. I like that name. Schlutes.
It's a good one.
Spell it for me.
SLUTS.
That spells sluts.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
An accent.
I feel like the NBA Hall of Fame is kind of like Tourette's Robert Gregson. It really should happen every other year. They should have to do it every year.
Every other month. Every other month.
Every other month, you might have a couple good people.
You might have a couple of good people.
You know, do it. That's like every year.
Every month might be.
Man,
Every month is
I'm looking. I saw when Al Idols got it, and they said he made it as a contributor. I'm like, contributor? He was a coach. He was a player. Why did he get the title of contributor? And I was like, who else made it? I wonder. Now I see the list is long and not distinguished. It is not distinguished at all.
It says the Warriors' last game at Oracle.
Last game ever, Jared. How you feeling?
Let's go.
I don't know. I haven't been into Oracle for several years now because I can't afford to go.
Well, as the person who made the first ever shot in the stadium, I wish there was like phones. That was before the cell phone days. You know, I would have got the video and been famous for it. So as the person who really made the first shot ever in that stadium, I'm sad to see him leave.
You ain't sad to see him leave.
I am, because San Francisco don't deserve him.
Man, hopefully they get some more affordable housing.
Well, don't worry. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when this window closes and these players get too old to compete for titles. What happens to the San Francisco Warriors?
They got to count on every Filipino and Vietnamese person coming from San Jose.
No. Filipinos and Vietnameses. That's a magic moment.
Come from San Jose.
The Filipinos and Vietnamese, Aaron, were the ones that were supporting them throughout their Oakland days.
I know. That's what I said. They'll come back. They'll drive up to the city.
I felt like I was watching Gran Torino every time I went to a
Come on, man.
I was like, bro, for real? I was like, dude, there's more niggas in here that ain't niggas than I ever seen in my life. And it was...
They're using the N-word, too.
Yeah, no, they used the N-word. But then you realize that it's all in good nature because they got the Filipino dude who's doing all their... sideline reporting inside the stadium, who's as corny as fuck.
I always wondered about that.
He's
like,
corny.
no matter, like for them and names, like
PJ,
no matter
whatever
who's
his name
doing like the mid game like reporter interviewing people, like they're always Filipino.
Oh yeah,
Because they love basketball, man.
Always and forever.
Well, because they're a little bit it's ambiguous ethnically, so you can't really discern and call them one thing or another.
Right.
But then also like they
Asian,
are
they got like Hispanic last names.
Yeah, well, they're like the Puerto Ricans of Asia. So, like, they're able to absorb many rich cultural attributes and create their own amongst that, too. And it just feels holistically American. Filipinos and Puerto Ricans might be the pinnacle of the melting pot that we call America.
Wow.
The Filipino and Puerto Ricans.
Shout out to Filipinos sponsorship.
Man,
and shout out to Puerto Rico.
They even got electricity.
Can I at least ask them for sponsorship before we start?
You can ask them for sponsorship.
Hey, shout out to Puerto Rico sponsorship. Brandon, I need a letter.
L.
I was thinking L myself.
L, okay, all right.
Loquacious, luscious, lucious.
I feel like
Aloysius.
we've done L before, though.
You did?
Yeah.
How many letters in the alphabet, man?
It's only 20.
It's like our 50th show.
It's only 26.
All right.
We've been show for like almost 2 years. You tell me. Hey, we already did that letter.
Liquid
So using Greek
lathered
letters or some shit like that.
leather liquid lather lathered liquid leather loquacious lambasting, Lilyhammer, love.
Man, it sound like Uncle Ruckus is outside your window right
Dude, I told you, man, this neighbor's got really 5150.
Oh, there's somebody walking down the street with a shopping cart, like just walking next to all the parked cars against traffic, and I was trying to park, and I was like, God damn, I gotta wait for this motherfucker to move out of the way, finish walking past the parking spot, so that I can then back in. And there's like a line of cars coming behind me, and they did not give a fuck. Those cars were like swerving around. All right. Shout out to the Grayson District sponsorship. I don't know what you're going to sponsor us with. It might be dog feces. It could be used cardboard. It could be tattered clothing. But we could take any type of sponsorship possible. As long as it's reusable and sellable, we could use it.
Right. I mean, I feel like this neighborhood really is the epitome of Paperboy. Like, it really is. Like, because when I pulled up, there were 3 white women having a photo shoot in front of this building. Like, they were doing, like, the whole jumping up.
Oh, I saw those
Nice
same
camera.
white women. I saw them. One of them stepped in dog shit.
No, by the pole, that was human shit.
Oh, she stepped in shit because when I pulled up, she was scraping her foot off like fuck, and I was like, I know what that movement is.
No, that might be the fresh dog. You know what? That was the
That's
fresh dog.
cleaning shit off your shoe. She was like trying to smear it down.
She was in some nice Mercedes too. She wasn't gonna get back in her car. She might just throw her shoe out on the street and just drive home from there.
Hey, shout out to a White Optimism sponsorship. I'm not going to say white privilege because, you know, it's about the White Optimism sponsorship. Give us some of that. We optimistic we going to get some more episodes up on Spotify. If not, fuck Spotify. Spotify sponsorship, but fuck Spotify. If you ain't going to have our stuff because you're going to flag us, not say nothing. Whatever. It's all good. We'll go to Stitcher until they flag us. And then we'll go to Apple iTunes where they won't even let us on because they're going to flag us before we even get on. But it's all good.
We're just going to try to get on Alex Jones.
Hey, we need to get on the Alex Jones podcast platform. Can we? What is that? InfoWars? Right. InfoWars podcast? Bruh, talk about some shit. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the High Score 510 podcast. You can catch us on Stitcher, maybe Spotify. Maybe some other platforms in the coming weeks. But you can also contact us on Instagram at HighScore510 and the Twitter where we are actively engaged. And give us a follow, subscribe, let us know what you think. And if you have any topics or issues you want us to discuss and ruminate on, we are more than welcome to do that as long as it interests us. Yeah. Anywho, we are here with...
This is A. Grayson 3, also known as AG Smooth. I'm coming after you like Lawrence Jones III, the Fox News reporter who was, in that war-torn combat zone of the Texas-USA-Mexico border wearing the smallest bulletproof vest that looked like it was Fisher-Price. Did you see that picture of him? I wanted to make him a cutty quarter shout out, but I had to introduce that. Did you see that picture of how small his vest was? Look how small it's not even protecting an internal organ, Jared.
It looked like.
And then when you look at it up close, it looked like a Walmart greeter vest. People just memed him to death. So I'll put a life jacket on to be, because basically, but one, and then all these like women reporters are like, I was just there. And they showed them in their reports there, and they're like, look what I'm wearing. Blouses, things like that. Why are you wearing a so-called bulletproof vest on the USA side of a? Someone did a chef thing.
Hey, I agree with them. As a brother in the United States, you should all wear bulletproof vests.
Man, he might as well wore Elmo backpack.
He went to the dollar store and got a backpack and wore it reverse.
He got a backpack and wore it reverse.
He got a dollar store backpack. All right, Aaron, here's your sound bite.
That's hilarious.
My name's Jimmy Rebel. This first number's a song I wrote. It's very near and dear to me, and it's about niggers.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Step back, silverback, hold on, blackie. Steal some gas for your Cadillac. Head downtown with them coons and clowns to stay away from me. Laputa, Sharia, Angie Mall, Orangelo, Mangelo, and Tylenol. Grabbing over Sophie in the basketball, just leave my daughter be. Keep to yourself, stay away from mine. Open your eyes and mouth so I can see you shine. Caucasian beauty, pure demure and classically snooty, sweet daughter alone.
Come on, man. I forgot all about that episode. Was that season 3? Because I didn't watch much of season 3, but I forgot about that episode.
Season 2. But yeah, season 2 or 3.
That's all that.
It's a great song. It's a great song. It's a classic American song.
Very catchy.
I found some other classic American songs.
And this is Brandon, aka Taco Pablo. Je ne parle français. So I said that a lot this last week.
Girl, you ain't speaking that goddamn.
What the hell does that mean anyway?
That means I don't speak French.
Come on. I thought you knew a little bit of French.
I know a little bit of French, but like I don't know French, you know. Like it's like if they got 20 minutes for me to explain what I gotta say, then yeah, I speak French. But if they need an immediate answer, I don't have it.
Code.
Is that a soundbite right there? Because of the French? Damn.
Alright, here's Brandon's.
You better check your sources on that story, Manelli. You might have got a bad lead.
Jared's excited about these sound bites.
Very
I'm
excited.
nervous.
I'm
real nervous right now.
And my name is Jared, aka DJ Art with 2 T's. For double dose of that tank, the D is silent, so it's just Jart.
I'm hunting niggas.
It's spring break, guys.
It's been
It's in the spring break.
quick thing about spring break. Does spring break bring the nigga out of everybody?
Man, who else did it bring the nigga out of?
I don't know. Like, all right. So my question is, I was like, you know, the weeks leading up to our own spring break, you know, working in education, we had a break of our own. But the weeks leading up, like, I know a lot of colleges are also going on their spring breaks, and I just kept seeing shit pop up on Twitter, Instagram about like just like wild shit going on in spring break, which is like, all right, you know, you used to have to watch the late night infomercials, you know, Girls Gone Wild and shit like that to see that. But now it's like just like in your face. It's like up to date, up to the minute. Like everything's happening. You can see it. You can see clips of people fighting, people drunk, people fucked up, people fucking. You know, just people just getting loose. And it just made me think. I'm like, there's a bunch of niggerdom going on around here, and I feel as though spring break is like it's like the universal, or at least in college, it's the universal like kind of Mardi Gras / I don't know. It's just
That's why the Freaknik got closed.
It's like Mr. Holland's nigga opus. I feel like that's what
what the Freaknik was known for, and they had to close that down. Now the NBA All-Star Game became the Freaknik.
Yeah.
As long as you don't hold it in Vegas, we might be all right.
Well, did you see my boy? Because I know Brandon was mentioning a former Dallas Cowboy, or he mean not former. He hasn't signed with nobody else yet. But did you see my boy, defensive captain for the Cowboys? My boy Tyrone Crawford was on spring break.
What the fuck? He a professional. How he on spring break?
I don't know. All I know
He's too old to be on spring break.
All I know is this nigga was fighting bouncers at Coyote Ugly.
Coyote Ugly. That's bad. That's bad. I did not know.
And the kicker is he's light skinned. But the double kicker is he's Canadian. So the nigga got brought out during spring break. Like you a Canadian nigga, light skinned Canadian nigga. You kind of like Drake. I don't associate Drake with Coyote Ugly.
They said he was wrecking bouncers, right?
Fighting bouncers, beating up bouncers.
It looked like he was putting it on them.
That's the real problem with the NFL, right? When they push back the draft, they also push back training camp.
Yeah,
but these people
they push back the OTAs.
Would be at OTAs right now.
Yeah, they would.
But no, they got spring break time.
So now they got spring break, and it's the worst thing that ever happened.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to them bouncers.
Right.
The bouncers ain't happy about that. Oh shit! Oops, I didn't mean to have that.
It was a little scrum. He hit a couple of them, but nothing crazy.
No, nothing
but
too
they were
crazy,
shoving and grabbing him.
Yeah, it was too small of a space. He don't know how to do any close quarter combat.
Yeah, but I think
not like my boy Connor Mack.
I think he was in Arizona. You know, spring break in Arizona. So
he threw a bad overhand right too. Yeah. He kind of hit down like he was.
Yeah, he didn't look like
something.
He don't look like he know how to throw them.
He just showed me he was Canadian in his fight role. He showed me he's a light skinned Drake real quick. Yeah, he might be big, but he's still on the same category as Drake.
275 pounds. You know, defensive lineman. You know, it's not that big a deal, but for some reason, I don't know, I didn't read up on the story after I read the original, but he got caught up with them bouncers, and the bouncers were trying to get him to leave, and he's fighting.
Man, it was a lot of bouncers he was throwing. I give him credit, but I mean, his punches didn't look like they hurt for shit.
Hey, them 3 bouncers couldn't handle, 4 bouncers couldn't handle him.
No. See, they made the mistake of trying to grab him. Once you realize he punched like that, they should just hit him and knock him out. But you probably want to go knock him out because he's a football player. He's used to getting hit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to hit him with a stool or something.
Yeah, they might be Cowboys fans also, so they're like,
Yeah,
God damn it, Tyrone, we just want you to leave.
We just want you to leave.
Tyrone.
We got to deal with Jerry in here. Jerry knows the deal.
We thought your name was the only black thing about you. You're from Canada. You went to Boise State. That's one of your homies, right, Brandon? That's one of your homies, right? What's he one?
You ever go visit him at Degrassi?
Hey, was Tyrone Crawford there when you were there, Brandon?
I don't think so.
He probably came like right after you left. Yeah.
After I stopped attending practices.
He had to come after you left because Urban Wire wouldn't have recruited no light skinned brother. That at least he had to have at least a couple of murders under his belt, like Aaron Hernandez.
Some questionable characters around.
He ain't gonna recruit no Canadian unless he was also tied up in some kind of murder scheme.
Fifi Falonis. Talk about Dallas Cowboys though, Brandon.
Shout out to Dallas
Cowboys.
Man, Cowboys stay winning, man.
Man, they signed a player. What else?
They
Lawrence,
signed
$105 million.
Hey man, that wasn't a bad deal for neither person.
But how big is the cap gonna be?
It ain't that much bigger.
Not as big as
not as big.
It's bigger apparently than my boy Cap made on his settlement apparently, but
not as big. Well, the jury's still out.
It's non-disclosure, but somebody was like, it's around $10 million. That's it. I was like, oh, that's not as much as you would expect. But anyways.
For all the time you wasted.
Yeah, all the time you wasted. Nigga, you had a $16 million contract that you voided, that you opted out of.
Right.
But anyways,
now man, your homeboy Rico Gathers.
Rico Gathers
was arrested for smoking weed in the park with one of his homies.
Man,
wait, what state was he in that he get arrested for smoking weed?
Texas. He went to Baylor. Niggas around Texas. He stayed.
So why they know? If you know you were living in that state, you got to just go ahead and get some edibles because.
And you would think like if he's hanging out that he had, like I'm gonna assume he has money for a hotel or somewhere, an Airbnb. Car.
No, but maybe he was trying to be respectful of the rules. They had no smoking in this Airbnb, so I went outside to the park to smoke.
I like it though, because I think it's important for black people to be outside and enjoy the outdoors more often. We don't do that enough.
Well, he was enjoying it. He was getting very, very, very earthy with it. Problem is, you in those states. It's just like the rapper Das, right?
There's a couple rappers that get busted.
He got busted for having weed in his house in Atlanta, right? He had like 27 pounds. They were like with intent to sell. And I was like, dude, he was probably gonna smoke all that. Knowing that, and how many people he had at his house, they were intent to smoke that. He already made money. He got residuals coming in. He ain't making enough money selling weed to keep doing this. No.
Right.
Problem is
not 27 pounds.
Not 27 pounds. That's not enough. If he was intent to sell, he'll have hundreds of pounds.
He's trying to buy a new iPod.
Yeah, exactly. That's all he gonna get is an iPod.
I just don't get it.
We don't even cost us shit.
There was another.
He can't even buy a house payment. He can't make his house payment.
There's another rap artist that a couple other artists that I've heard in the last like month or so that have been getting busted like in Georgia or like places in the South where weed's not legal and they're carrying around. They're being caught with, one dude had it in his tour van and it was like cocaine and weed and something else. This other dude got caught with weed, and people were like, "Man, it's a double standard. Like, Billy Ray Cyrus can, grow weed with his wife or whatever they do." Yeah, Miley Cyrus.
But he like in Nashville. But he's in a more progressive place.
It's not even about that.
They're right though. I ain't gonna say that.
I'm pretty sure he's probably also in California when he's doing that shit because what's her name ain't living out there. No. She's fucking out here doing all kinds of twerking contests.
Letting everybody touch her privates
all around LA. So I'm like, that's in California. Like, yes, there's a benefit to living in the South. You can have more land, cheaper prices, everything is cheaper, but you cannot do the same drugs you want to do. So, just if you really want to do that shit, just spend the extra money. You already famous. You already are gonna be pretty much set if you just manage your money decently. And if not, you could be reckless with it because you already made so much money. Stop driving around Georgia and Mississippi and fucking Texas with weed. Stop having ridiculously egregious large amounts of that shit and being like, yeah man, we just trying to have a little party, we just smoke a little bit, is that a misdemeanor? No nigga, this is like quadruple felonies.
Out here, yes.
Yeah, no bro, you can't. I don't understand where some of these are like, it's like, no bro, the rules are pretty much laid out. The states, there's like a dozen states that you can go legally have weed.
Exactly. Like I know if I'm in Alabama, there's some things that I saw in black.com that I can't do out there legally. There's at least 13 things in that last episode of black.com you can't do. And there's some things that I've done in my last relationship that would be considered illegal in Alabama.
And how does that relate to the casting couch, Aaron?
You know,
Yeah, like where on the casting couch scale does that rate?
I pull it like maybe one Harvey Weinstein, not 5, just one.
It's
5 is
Weinstein.
the 1 to 5 Weinstein measure. That's like a 1 casting couch. Like it's only illegal in Alabama. Other people just call it being freaky, and Alabama is just illegal.
See, I put that on the Taft Smiley scale.
Like I might get banned.
Like,
I might get banned from Chick-fil-A after they find me.
they're
doing
like,
that.
in Alabama, it is illegal to try and get your great grandchildren pregnant.
No,
that's
it's
what
not
you was
that
trying
far.
to do.
No, it don't go that far. It's just like, hey man, you know, Alabama sodomy is illegal. It was illegal till like recently, like sodomy. So you can't even have your wife.
What if you're just trying to, you know?
What if I was trying to preserve my girlfriend's virginity until she get married? Because you know I'm trying to be Christian.
Trying to be good with the Lord.
That's what they got with Kobe Bryant, huh?
That's what he was trying to do.
That's what he's trying to do. But they was in
But
Colorado. Colorado, you can get
He was
freaky.
with a dirty skank. So
You know,
let's-
you know how many white women is up in Colorado? They like to get freaky.
Yeah.
No, but no, yeah, the progressive, pseudo-progressive white women.
Shout out to Bill in Colorado.
Shout out to white women sponsorship.
Yeah, Pedro said, man, the white women in Colorado, man. He said
Man,
he went out there and felt like he was getting worshipped.
Yeah, it's like Arizona North though. You know, it's like you can like you don't get the extreme hots, you get the extreme colds, but it's like, you know, you get the same fun in betweens. That's what I heard. Anyways, hey, yeah, but can we talk about DeMarcus Lawrence real quick?
Let's talk about
DeMarcus Lawrence made $105 million over the next 5 years. And I am just going to say that it will be interesting to see the mass exodus from the Cowboys rosters of key players that will be occurring in the next 2 seasons. Because they're not going to be able to afford much of anybody else once they pay Dak Prescott, once they have to pay Amari Cooper. If they intend on keeping him, you spend a first-round pick on him, you better sign him. Instead of just getting him for a 2-year rental, it's not worth the first-round pick. And then Ezekiel Elliott, who, honestly, like Le'Veon Bell, thank you. Thank you, Le'Veon Bell.
Thank you, Le'Veon Bell, for holding out and then getting no money out of it.
And then getting less money than we hoped.
Getting got a worse contract than he would have got from Pittsburgh.
I'll take the fact that Le'Veon did not get as much money as I anticipated him getting, and that's a good thing for the Cowboys. But aside from that, like, you have a lot of players, a lot of young talent that's going to be developing over the next 2 years that are going to become free agents. Byron Jones, I hope we get one title with you this season. You're going to be gone. You know what I'm saying?
You know what also hurts Ezekiel Elliott? The fact that Todd Gurley limping around L.A. and he got that great contract, and so that hurts Ezekiel Elliott even more.
Yeah.
So that's what but it helps the Cowboys.
It helps the Cowboys. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do though. But anyways,
they're gonna be all right. I know they're gonna be all right signing Ezekiel. Byron Jones might be gone.
Yeah. No, Byron Jones is a good player.
He's solid. I ain't gonna lie. He's solid.
They finally put him
he
where
ain't
he need
great,
to be.
but he's solid. He's a solid player. He's a player that would want on my team.
Yeah. He's a good player. He's solid.
But he might get a little more money if he goes somewhere else.
He's a world record holder. That's important. You don't want to lose that off your roster.
World record holder in the standing broad jump. I know it's an Olympic sport though.
It's not an Olympic sport.
Oh.
It's an NFL.
I didn't know it was
sport.
I know it was a high school track and field sport either.
I don't think it is. I just think the NFL's like, we do this one thing that nobody else does, and he set the record for it.
He set the record for standing broad jump.
We got the record.
We ain't seen this since a kindergarten PE
Hey,
class. Since I did my kindergarten PE class.
He's a world record holder in the 3-cone drill.
I actually like the 3-cone drill. That's a tight drill.
Well, they say it's a better measurement, especially for your D linemen and linebackers,
agility,
than it is the 40 time, which everyone gets caught up. 40 time is about running backs, receivers, and DBs. And aside from that, like 40 times is like a bonus for all the other big.
It is. It's just a bonus, but I like the 3-cone drill.
3-cone drill tests your burst and change the pace. Anyways,
you ever seen Jerry Rice 3-cone drill?
No. All I know is that the Cowboys signed him for a lot of money, more than Khalil Mack, if I'm correct, or around Khalil Mack.
126 or something.
Oh, he got 126 for 6 years, though, right?
Yeah, he's there for longer though, for sure.
So they got him for 6 years, 126. So he's basically getting paid Khalil Mack money.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. He's finally come around, been the player that they traded up for in the second round to get. So I appreciate him being that player. He's a leader on the defense. He's been a consummate professional in his last couple of years. Struggled, I think, transitioned to the league. But man, I am apprehensive about signing a dude to that much money, because now is one more thing to really worry about every single day of training camp from here until the start of the season. It's like, once the season starts, bro, we're gonna shoot you up with all kinds of drugs to make sure you can play. It don't matter unless you break something, tear something. We're gonna play you, right?
Yeah.
But now you have an extra 150 days of the year, or extra 125 days where you gotta be worrying about this dude hopefully not getting injured. He's like, man, we about to just throw $21 million down the drain this year. Or 31 they're paying him this year. But
they saved money on that dude retiring, fell in a drug test. What was your boy Lawrence? Was that who it was?
Randy Gregory?
No, Randy Gregory.
But he was getting paid second round draft. Like he hasn't. He
has talent. He would have signed for a little bit of money.
No. But the thing is, like, since he's been suspended for an entire season at one point, they don't like that. Doesn't accrue him a season. That doesn't count against their year of having him under contract either. And he didn't get paid for any of that, so he's off the books when he's suspended, basically. So, and that's why he can't have any, communication with the team. It's like he's off the books. We're not going to charge you for him. It's not going to count a year against his accrued tenureship as an NFL player. But I would love to see Randy Gregory.
He might have stayed sober.
I think the problem
is Jason Garrett wasn't awkward around black people.
Yeah,
according to him.
I think Jason Garrett is awkward around black people. You seen his daddy trying to talk to Martellus Bennett when he was a rookie. Hey, you see this ball, boy? You got like 3 of those, right?
Come on, man.
You went to college. You probably got some white women pregnant. Hold the ball. I was like, Jason Garrett, how you gonna put your dad, yo senile ass dad? His dad reminded me of the dude from you remember the movie National Lampoon's the one where they had the Christmas at the house?
Yeah.
With the grandparents. The dude that's smoking a cigar. That's who dude, I don't even know that dude's name. But that's who Jason Garrett's dad reminded me of.
Yeah, he was senile as hell.
I think David Irving and Randy Gregory are subject to degrees of unfair judgment and unfair circumstance because of the drug laws in the NFL. But regardless of that, just like the dudes, the rap artists in Georgia,
law in the country.
I know. But we're talking about the NFL right now, and like it's interesting to see the status quo and the perspective on things changing. And weed is like something that most players acknowledge, like they use or would prefer to use than the barbiturates and the fucking opiates that they continue to pump them with.
They pump them with those.
And
it's worse effects on their body.
And the most ridiculous part is that the NFL is holding on to that rule when they come to the next collective bargaining agreement next year, or whatever it is. It's 2020, I think. Is they're going to use that as a bargaining chip to get whatever other form of power they want to get back. Say, we'll make weed legal, or we'll make weed okay within whatever state you're in, whatever the rule change they're going to do, but they're going to use that to then get some other form of leverage. And it's kind of despicable, but it's also business. But also business has been historically despicable, so I'm not going to give credence to that. I think they should just make the right decision. NFL, make weed legal. You'll have a happier NFL players.
They won't get in much trouble.
Less niggas getting pulled over for DUIs and arrested.
Exactly.
Because niggas be like, man, we'll smoke this blunt real quick and then we'll go out. And they be like, man, fuck
this.
Let's stay in.
Fuck this. You got the number of that pizza place. Now, especially now with Uber Eats, they'll never leave the house.
Yeah.
Look, do you know how much the NBA players did not get in trouble when weed was legal? They knew. They either did 2 things. They either called up hookers or they smoked weed. And to the NBA made weed legal. Thank you, Allen Iverson, for fucking up and keep getting caught going on a plane with it. You and Damian Stoudemire.
It was the Jailblazers.
It was the Jailblazers that kept getting caught. Damian Stoudemire, all them fucked up.
If I wrap this in foil and go through a metal detector, is that gonna set it off?
That motherfucker wrapped the weed in foil and tried to go through the airport security gate.
That's not even a good barrier for like smell. He's just like, just wrap it in foil.
If you got a burrito into it,
let me make sure I smell like weed and set off the sensors.
Like, so this motherfucker got caught hit between him and Allen Iverson kept getting pulled over for smoking weed. Like, they had to make it illegal. Do you know how much trouble they got in since that? That's when it started getting worse. That's when you get all of a sudden, next thing you know, a year later, I got Steven Jackson shooting a gun up in the air because he got hit by a car outside a strip club, even though they had a game that night in Portland. Somehow he went to a strip club in Indiana after they made it back.
Man, just think what would happen if Marvin Harrison was allowed to smoke weed. He probably wouldn't be shooting nobody, paralyzing them either. Neither would Pac-Man Jones. Neither would the dude from the Broncos who ended up dying.
Yeah, man, that's sad. That was Brandon Marshall's fault. See, you know what happened? Well, Brandon Marshall sprayed. He was in there wilding out. It was New Year's, so he was wilding out.
He was like a rookie, right?
He was a rookie, and he kept spraying, just spraying a while. You know, he had money. He was young, and it was a bunch of game bangers in there, and they were mad at him. So actually, the dude that got killed, what's his name? Is the cornerback. Forgot his name.
I forgot.
He was the one that was actually calming, trying to calm the situation and trying to tell Brandon, dude, just leave and this and that. And then as he was walking out,
was it Darren Williams?
I think it was something like that. Yeah, it started with the D. When he was walking out with what was the wide receiver? Javon
Curtis.
The one that used to play with Green Bay.
He played for the Raiders too.
Javon something.
Curtis.
Javon Walker. When he was walking out with him, they feel like, hey, that's him that was with him. Sprayed him down. And it's sad because he was trying to play the peacemaker and Brandon Marshall was just being a young idiot.
I think that's one of the reasons why Brandon Marshall ended up probably dealing with a lot of like his
mental illness.
Shit, and
I think so too.
I think that was probably something that made him realize. Shout out to Brandon Marshall sponsorship. I don't want to make it all business, but we know business is cutthroat and despicable, so it's okay.
Got some real killers. Shout out to Mallory Pugh and Kristen Press and any of the other half black girls that's on the USA national team. I'm with you. That's all I'm gonna say.
I take a knee with you.
So Paul Pierce.
Oh,
I feel like he's just opened himself up for.
That's my boy. That's my boy Paul Pierce.
He's like Kanye West in the NBA world. Like basically, he goes on Twitter and says he's had a better career than Dwayne Wade.
Oh no, he wasn't on Twitter. It was on the ESPN show. Michelle Beadle. So and then Michelle Beadle just poked it. Jalen Rose asked him. The problem is people kept poking him.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Rose asked him. That's who started it. And then Michelle Beadle just harped on it and just kept harping.
But see, here's what Paul Pierce needs to realize. Paul Pierce, if you notice people poking and prodding you, trying to get you to say something, you might need to realize you the nigga that be saying something or speaking your mind maybe a little too much. And people are like, well, let's see what he can get him to say this time. Like, it's like, no, Paul, you need to realize, like, they doing this for a reason because they trying to get content and soundbite out of you, and they know you the one who's gonna say the shit that might be a little bit exaggerated or asinine. Anyways, I don't know. I honestly could say that I put Paul Pierce and Dwayne Wade in the same realm of NBA player. Personally, they played two different positions. They both meant they were the heart and soul of their team for long stretches of time. They were both players that couldn't do it by themselves. That's it.
So you say you put... Wait. I agree with you 100%. And I was talking to someone else about this morning, talking to my boy Doug Diggler. I agree with you. Because I said... Did you say you put them kind of even?
Yeah, I put them in the same...
And that's what I said. Because Duck asked me who did I see was better. Because he saw the whole shit too. And I said, you know what? When I think about it, it's kind of even. Because... They both. I said I give Paul Pierce a little. Like Dwayne Wade individually might have had a little bit slightly better career, right? He had like a Defensive Player of the Year award. He was all time defensive first team.
Yeah.
He had a few more All-Star games, probably like 5 more NBA All NBA teams. I was like individually he probably get a few more, but Dwayne Wade also didn't make the playoffs a lot without those superstars that he had. First it was Shaq, then it was LeBron, and they got him to the titles. Those years in between without either one, he didn't make the playoffs.
His team wasn't contending very well.
No, they weren't contending. But Paul Pierce, remember, he was on some shitty teams before Ray Allen got there. He took him to Eastern Conference Finals. There's a reason why he became known for his playoffs heroics on shitty teams.
Well, he had Antoine Walker.
Exactly. Well, that's what Jalen Rose said. Jalen Rose said that, and Paul Pierce, I gave him credit. He kind of just said, come on, man. Right? Like, and it was one of those come on, mans. I was like,
I'm not
disrespecting Paul, my boy Antoine Walker, who probably going through it because he was married to Chad Ochocinco girl, or engaged to her for 7 years. And he's also like, come on, man, you just gonna say Antoine Walker. So it's kind of in between.
He's like, like we all know Antoine Walker is not Shaquille O'Neal. He's not LeBron James. He's not Chris Bosh.
Right.
And that's my thing. I feel as though when you think about their careers, yes, Dwayne Wade was a flashier player because he was a guard. Paul Pierce, small forward, played power forward a little bit. But if I had to like look at who was just a better pure player all around, I would say Dwayne Wade. If I had to say pure offensive player, I'll say Paul Pierce because he didn't just... Dwayne Wade exploited his athleticism more so than Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was never an overly athletic dude in my eyes. Paul Pierce could shoot, and he knew how to use his body to create space for his shot.
They used to call him fat boy.
That takes a lot of skill. And that's why I feel it's like Dwayne Wade's career has tailed off hard, and he's been having to rest because he was using his body. He's exploiting his body. Paul Pierce had a long career where there wasn't a drop off in necessarily minutes to the same degree because I think he played a certain way that was more of a skill based game, whereas Dwayne Wade used a lot of skill but also a lot more athleticism. I just think they're both very similar players in the category of where you place them amongst the all-time greats. Now, it don't really matter because both of them are going to the NBA Hall of Fame or the Basketball Hall of Fame.
They both deserve to go too.
I think both their children are probably gonna make it, or at least one of their children is gonna make it to the Basketball Hall of Fame, just based on merit from that, them being the seedlings of them, because that's how the Basketball Hall of Fame works, according to Google. Shout out to Google sponsorship.
I think actually Paul Pierce has it right completely. I think
I don't disagree.
Paul Pierce is a better player than Dwayne Wade over the course of their career. The last 4 years, Dwayne Wade has not shot more than 23 pointers in a season.
Oh, he started trying to a couple years ago. He shot the most in his career.
He's like, oh, I'm not even. If I'm behind the line, I can't even shoot it.
Yeah. Because he used his athleticism. He was so focused on. He was so athletic, so explosive, so versatile at being. He wasn't quite big. He wasn't at the same size as most two guards. He was bigger than most point guards, and he was able to play that way. And he had a really good mid-range game. I always thought he was like a slightly more athletic version of Monte Ellis, and they're different. But he was more athletic because he could finish at the rim stronger. Ellis wasn't like a dunker. Dwayne Wade could dunk on you, but they both had mid-range game, and that's where their game lived, was their quickness, ability to create their shot in the mid-range game and attack the rim. And they finished in different ways. Dwayne Wade could dunk more often. Monte Ellis was really good at, finishing while he had his time. And Monte Ellis' knees broke down. One of the reasons I think is he played tennis when he was in high school. He was a really good tennis player, I heard.
Wait, he broke down because he played tennis in high school?
Bruh, hey.
They try to relate that shit to playing tennis.
Y'all want to know? Y'all don't even know. Y'all ever played tennis?